Hi everyone, it's me. My name is Alanna and I'm a Canadian, but I have been living here in the UK for the last 9 years. One of the things that I just love about British culture, about living in the UK, is the British sense of humor. So I started a series on my channel reacting to British comedy, British TV shows, stand-up, panel shows, comedians, all that fun stuff. And today we are looking at Mock the Week. So I hope you will join me. Grab a seat, get cozy, put your feet up. Question. Do you like Mock the Week? Leave a comment down below. I've said Mock the Week a couple times now, and it no longer sounds like a real sentence. On our Mock the Week deep dive, I thought we could start here. Best of scenes we'd like to see for series 14. This was posted 8 years ago. How many seasons are there? Remind me in a minute, we'll do a Google. 14? 8 years ago? Anyway.
Commercials that never made it to air.
Have you been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault? Of course you have, because that is the definition of an accident.
Andrex, because who wouldn't want to wipe their ass with a puppy?
We call it a Happy Meal. The cow we killed wasn't too chuffed, though.
What's that? Yeah, mate, I got some bad news about your dad.
I love James Acaster. I actually saw him live. He did a live show in Kent. That's where I live. He seems to be absolutely wonderful. Very, very funny. If you can see his stand-up, I don't know if he's on tour or going on tour soon. Loved it. I had such a fun time. And I really love his sense of humor. I actually read one of his books after that because I had such a good time. Love him. A gem.
Did you mistake your girlfriend for a burglar on Valentine's Day? Then you need to go to Specsavers.
Oh, grim.
Want to save money on biscuits? Easy. Give blood.
Unlikely film trailers.
Every year, I Love You More, starring Michael Jackson and Benjamin Button.
Coming soon, a story of premature ejaculation.
Part man, part machine, part bird, part drum. It's Robo Bongo Cuckoo Cop.
It felt like he was making that one up as he was saying it. This is just gonna end up being a James Acaster video, which, write that down, we should do a whole episode just on James Acaster. Did I tell you I love him? I will say I'm kind of bad with names, so all of the comedians that we have seen so far, I recognize. I would say as a foreigner, they're very famous, but I'm not good with names. So a lot of them, I don't know their names, but visually I can recognize them. Next up, we have unlikely things for a sports commentator to say.
Welcome back to the golf, where Tiger Woods apparently travels with 2 inflatable sex dolls now in case he gets a hole-in-one.
And he's resting 2 balls on the cushion there, which is why he won't be allowed back into IKEA.
Here we are at the Crucible, all burning to death!
And this decision's going to a touch judge, and yes, it's sexual harassment.
The American and the Russian are out in front, and here comes the Finn. Yes, they're going to swim a lot faster now. The shark is chasing them.
That guy's always so absurd. I recognize him. He's one of those ones, again, I recognize him because he has a very distinctive look about him, doesn't he? And he is always so absurd. What about unlikely things to hear on breakfast TV?
Breakfast news now. A man is drowned in a bowl of Cheerios. Sadly and ironically, his family didn't get a chance to say goodbye.
Now, if you didn't see earlier on, we had steps. And that's why we interviewed Stephen Hawking outside.
Later on, we'll be meeting a man who has to go through 50 steps before he can orgasm. All that to come.
Side rant. James Acaster, Ed Gamble. You guys ever listen to the Off Menu podcast? I love it. They're so funny together. If you haven't heard it, they basically bring on someone and they talk about food. Absolutely hilarious. He is a treasure as well. Moving right along, this is a different compilation, greatest one-liners, which I feel like is so difficult. I've jumped ahead to series 6. Interesting that they say series. I'm assuming they mean season. I was gonna Google that, wasn't I? So if you're not familiar, most people who watch my videos are British. Hi, how's it going? If for some reason you have lived until now and you don't know what Mock the Week is, it is a topical, satirical, celebrity panel show, which I did not know started it in 2005 to November 2022. Was this canceled? I didn't know that. So there's 21 series. I mean, fair play. It's a long running show, right? Number of episodes, 245. Uh-oh. An American version of the series is in development. Some things just don't translate. As part of this like series of like British comedians and TV shows and stuff, we did an episode on Have I Got News for You? No. Would I Lie to You? Which is one of my favorite shows ever. And in the course of that video, I discovered that they started an American version and it is so cringeworthy. I could only watch a couple seconds of it, but if you want to try, you're more than welcome to give it a go. It was not easy to watch. And now they're gonna do Mock the Week, which American humor and British humor are very different. Humor is great. Don't get me wrong, but they are so very different. So we'll be very interested to see what becomes of an American version. In addition to the humor, panel comedy shows don't really exist in North America. It was something that was really new to me when I moved here 9 years ago. I had never really seen anything like that before. The closest thing we have was, oh God, what is it? Whose Line Is It Anyway? Which was British. That one did go to America and it was absolutely massive. I grew up watching that with my family. That was the only show of its kind. And of course, like scenes we'd like to see is very much like some of the like, not skits, but some of the segments you'd see on Whose Line. And Whose Line was hugely popular. It made sense. It worked really well. It ran for a really long time. But that was it. These panel shows are just not popular in America. But maybe they're trying to make them popular. Anywho, how about bad things for a by-election candidate to say?
For a by-election candidate to say.
I would like to kiss your baby, but we don't want to go down that road again.
I am the perfect candidate. This is an election, and I am bi.
I've been knocking on doors in this constituency for weeks, and it's completely unconnected to the recent stranglings.
You know what? I love Frankie Boyle. If you like Frankie Boyle, I have a video on him specifically. I think he's just so funny. I like that dark humor.
Knife crime must end. Just last week, I was given a steak knife when I clearly ordered the fish.
If elected, living standards will go up. For me and my wife.
I wonder what the original series was like. I never watched... I watched a lot of daytime TV when I first moved here because I didn't have a job yet, and I was just like applying jobs all day and every day. And it was kind of terrifying. But I used to watch like old reruns. I don't know if I've ever actually seen like the first season.
I call it ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. So if you're all ready, here we go with the very first of these.
Wow,
Bad
look how
ways
young
to
everybody
start
is.
a party political broadcast. Hello.
I don't know who that was or wrote that.
My fellow paedophiles.
Hang on, I'll be with you in a minute.
Good moment!
As you know, the football is on the other channel.
Well, I'm sorry to say that it is mostly the blacks.
Wow, look how young he looks.
Hello, I'm John Prescott. Now, I expect you're wondering why I'm naked.
I've been here 9 years. There's still references that I don't get, and that is one of them. How about things a Wimbledon commentator would never say?
Well, there's a ball boy needs taming.
God.
Advantage Widdicombe. And as they come to the first, it's Spanish steps over safely.
All this grunting is giving me the horn.
In the women's game, why does the pretty one always lose to the moose?
God, he looks young too. Here is another compilation, Best Bits Part 1. What are we about to see? Nobody knows except this person and almost 500,000 people.
Unlikely things to hear on daytime TV.
Well, these four date from the early part of last century. Some wear and tear, a little bit of tarnishing there. But please welcome today's loose women.
Welcome to Channel 4 Daytime, or as you said to your boss this morning, working from home.
The next programme is pointless. It's the Jeremy Kyle Show.
Oh, man! That is an idea. We probably shouldn't do a video on Jeremy Kyle, but I also feel like we should because as a cultural moment, I feel like it's kind of important even if it's vile. Do you know what I mean? Jeremy Kyle, I mean, like Maury, probably less crazy than Jerry Springer, but kind of in that realm. I'd say it's more like Maury, if you guys ever saw Maury. Next up, how about questions omitted from this year's exams?
Using pie, distract the fat kid next to you so as you can copy his answers.
Using only the English language, write something.
Maths. Robert has 400 stamps. He'd like to put them in 12 different albums. He wants to have them equally in each album. How many friends does Robert have?
Do you know the way to San Jose?
If the fluid has been flowing at 21 litres a minute for 15 minutes, what on earth is wrong with my bladder?
How about things a weather forecaster would never say?
I'm sure the ladies are going to be wearing skimpy bikinis tomorrow. It could reach 90 degrees, which is not bad for a man my age.
Thank you very much, Dave. Yeah. Pretty easy reporting on things that have already happened. Now, predicting the future.
Very good. For something a little bit different, how about Ed Gamble being a little shit on Mock of the Week? We're not going to watch all 30 minutes straight, but I'm curious to see what this includes.
It's like a supply teacher, a replacement teacher, and Boris is the boy who starts the humming. I know it's the moon because you can see Earth just behind it, right?
Yeah.
So that's the moon, right?
There we are. Teach me more about science, Dara.
I shall. Where to begin?
Tell us more about it if you can get your lips off Brian Cox's butt.
Robots, the Stargate, everything, really everything, yeah.
You know what I've got to say to that?
I have no authority anymore. I have no power
Watch the series, school's out, baby!
What are Brexit supporting pub chain Weatherspoons going to stop serving?
Nish!
How old was the farmer wearing Ed's waistcoat when he died?
time do you watch Love Actually? You've been very well acquainted with it.
Isn't it not on endlessly and constantly?
You don't have to watch it, Dara.
You're on television constantly, and I don't watch you.
Just a scooch more. Now, there are loads of clips uploaded specifically by Mock the Week, their YouTube channel, which I'm trying not to pick because I have a feeling that they are all going to be blocked from viewing if we try to react to them. So we're just going to skirt around those playlists. But should you like to watch them, there's loads of them on YouTube. And if Mock the Week is listening, I do this because I love. Please don't sue me. Here we've got just a comedians roasting Dara compilation, which I'd love to check out. If you're still here, hi, how's it going? Hope you're having fun. Just a scooch more.
You know what story struck me during the week? You may not have seen one. It was a story in Ireland in the Evening Herald in Dublin last week. And it's got a movie story about Alzheimer's disease. It was, yeah. And the story basically was being a big head may be good for you. Scientists found that large-headed individuals with Alzheimer's have better memory and thinking skills than sufferers with small heads. All of which is quite interesting. You see, next paragraph I found difficult to take. People with larger than average heads, like comedian Now, that would be all right if it wasn't for that. Like, the article actually came with a giant photograph of me next to the article.
What?
Under the word big head that protected us Alzheimer's.
To be fair, a big head doesn't normally cause the owner a problem. It causes the owner's mother a problem. How do you think?
And you do look... Have you ever seen Dara?
It's smaller than my hips, for God's sake.
Your head is smaller than your hips.
What kind of shape are you? You're a peanut.
Seriously. Your head is absolutely enormous. In fact, on a normal-sized head, that would be a full head of hair.
When Dara opens an umbrella, it's like one of them little cocktail ones.
To put in context how big it is, Dara, it has its own gravitational field. It's pulled in an entire planet behind it.
Here's a question. Actually, maybe it'll say here, was Dara always the presenter? It says presented by and no other names. So for 21 seasons, he was the presenter. It's a pretty good gig, eh? So apparently that US version is scheduled, well, it's now 2025. Set to premiere on Amazon Freevee. Okay, so apparently the American one is called The Great American Joke Off. Premiered 2023. Created by Dan Patterson, co-creator of Whose Line Is It Anyway? So Whose Line Is It Anyway? Absolutely massive, like I said before. Interesting, it doesn't say that this is off of Mock the Week. Maybe this is something different. I found it from here. So Mock the Week is back, only now it's called The Great American Joke Off. Episode 1. Not allowed to view. I wonder why. This one says, isn't there going to be an actual American version of Mock the Week? Yes, it's being produced by Trevor Noah. Because this is not the same format. So it's basically 2 teams consisting of 3 stand-up comedians compete against each other over several rounds involving telling as many jokes as possible. This sounds more like a Whose Line variation. There's like literally nothing on YouTube about this Great American Joke Off. I don't know if the network is pulling the videos down, but there's hardly anything at all. There's best of this particular comedian. Let's just watch a scooch. This is probably gonna get ripped off the internet as well, but I'm just so curious.
One time I was with my girlfriend in bed and I was about to euphemism her metaphor and in the heat of the moment I used the word vulva and she was like, ugh, can't you just say vagina? I was like, well, no, I'm referring to the exterior parts. The vagina only refers to the canal portion. She was like, just stop saying that word. And I was like, no, that's like calling your face your throat.
You think that's bad? I just learned what the vulva is.
Okay, that's actually funny.
Mincing your words. Musical artist and meat.
Pyork.
Have you got Ed Gamble?
Chickendrick Lamar. Chickendrick Lamar.
I'd love some delicious chicken if anyone's got any.
Ask us anything. Kevin, do you have a question for us?
Yes, what do you all dislike most about your appearance?
I look young, but like not in a good way that anyone likes. I look young in a sort of like dying Victorian child way. No one ever says like, hey, Reese, drop the skincare routine. They're like, have you had your tuberculosis jab? Can I just say, this is my first time doing American TV. Do all the audience members wear American flags, or is it just...
Okay, a little bit cringy, a little bit funny. Interestingly, I wonder if there's going to be a shot. So British, don't know who that is. Did we see the other team with Ed? British, I can't really see who these people are. This isn't really Mock the Week. I guess they're trying to sort of build it off a similar... It's kind of like Mock the Week and Whose Line Is It Anyway together. Uh-oh, my battery's about to die. How long have I been talking? Either way, this is the first I've heard of it. What does that tell you? Hi, my battery died, but I'm back. Are you still here? I hope so. We have gone down a rabbit hole that I was not expecting. Here's one thought, and maybe you agree, maybe you don't. Let me know in the comments. British humor is just something special. And there's a reason so many funny British comedy panel type shows exist, is because the Brits do them really, really well. It makes sense for the audience. The comedians are fast, funny. It just works. All of the panel shows, Mock the Week, Would I Lie to You, Have I Got News for You, 8 out of 10 cats. Is it 8 out of 10? 9 out of 10. Oh my God. 8 out of 10. It's been a while since I've watched that. All of these panel shows do so well because of the people on them and the audience that is watching. It makes sense why they're trying to export them to other countries like the US, because they make so much money, right? They're so popular. And yet it seems when they go to the US, they just fizzle out. The people aren't as funny. I see they got British people on this one to try and make it work. Literally never heard of this show before. I also saw they tried to do American Taskmaster, which didn't perform very well. I saw an interview with Alex Horn, and he was talking about how they had to kind of change the format of the show, and it just didn't really translate well. But there's so many of these shows, they're trying to bring them over to the US, and they just don't work. I get it. We're trying to make money. I get it. But sometimes I think the British comedy panels, the British shows, just let them be British, all right? Watch the British version. They're hilarious. There's a reason why they're so popular. Anyway, I feel like I should end it there. I've gone on so many tangents and rants, and I hope you liked this video. I hope the British version made you laugh, and maybe this American version was a bit eye-opening. If you'd like to watch more, definitely check out my Would I Lie to You video, and you can check out the Would I Lie to You US version in that video. Insane. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye!